So welcome back to the Build Your Own Grain Store series that I've put on over the last year. This shed is now nearly a year old, and for the newcomers, if you don't know what this is, so I built and fabricated my own massive barn. So go back through some of the videos, you can see all the steel work come in, drilling all the holes, welding it all up, and then obviously putting it up, concreting the floor, filling it up, and now we're loading it out again. So, and if you do want to support the channel, I've got these hats and these, but if you go to, this is it, go to my Instagram, TomLam980, I've just sprayed this with spray grease because I didn't have a pen. Go to my Instagram and in the bio, you'll see a link to the shop. So today, we're gonna start loading some of the Planet Spring Barley. So the run up to Christmas, there's 700 tonne going out of here. So this is all going to be made into booze soon. So everyone who likes drinking, it's going. It's going to be made into, everyone's going to be able to get drunk, amazing. First things first, remember the strap I put on the door? It's quite windy outside. I don't know if you can see it trying to bow in. See it, look, because it's quite windy outside. It's trying to push the door in. These straps, obviously, they're just stopping it from bowing in. Next thing, I've had a few questions. Where does the seed come from for next year? Well, here it all is. And it's been taken off this heap, gone through a cleaner, and then gone into these bags here. And here it is in the bag. What it does, it goes through the cleaner and it takes all the little bits out and screens it all, so you've got a nice sample of corn ready to go in the ground. But right, first things first, we're going to load some oats. These are oats. Go to make oat porridge. What else? I don't know. Oat flour. Could be anything. Anything to do with oats. This is all going for human feed. So we're going to load it up. That's the fifth. We've had 5 loads of this go so far, and I think we've got 3 loads left. So there's about 29 tonne in each lorry load. So. Built a bit. In it goes. Oh. Just starting to fill up, look. See it at the top of the lorry. So I've got a quiz question for you as well. Let's call it, for round figures, there's 200 tonnes in this heap that's gone. So there's 1,000 kilos in a tonne. So how many bowls of porridge have I loaded that have been in this shed? So 200 tonnes, 1,000 kilos in a tonne. How many grams are there in a bowl? And that'll give you how many hundreds of thousands or millions there is. Just had a cheeky load of wheat go out. There goes the lorry. There's the wheat store. Just a quick fact for you. This is wheat. 365 of these grains, so maybe about, I don't know about that many. That's how many grains it takes to make 1 Weetabix for your breakfast. So there, fact of the day. This shed should hold about 1,500 tonnes right full to the door. Still a lot more to go out of here and all the other barns. But right, so we're going to do a question and answers sort of session now. We've had quite a lot of questions over the last year. You know, what size of steel, all sorts of bits. So I'm going to start with the top 10 questions about this shed. So these outside steels, these are the steel stanchions. So these are 350 by 170. And I'm pretty sure they are, yeah, they're 10 mil thick. So we use quite big stanchions on grain stores because all the weight pushing against the wall, it's sort of, you've got to have a decent sized frame. Whereas if we go and have a look at one of the sheds I built a couple of years ago, this cattle store slash machinery store here, you'll be able to see these stanchions are only 250 by 145, and I think the steel is ever so slightly thinner. I think that's 8 mil. So yeah, you can see, because obviously this frame hasn't got, you know, things pushed against the walls, you know, the frame's not having to take much weight. You can get away with a lot smaller stanchions on, you know, sheds where the weight isn't pushing against the sides. And the same goes for like the concrete panels here. So on grain stores, always use thicker concrete panels. You've got a lot more weight pushing against them. You've got sort of 6 inches thick, whereas these are only 100 mil thick panels. So these don't really have much load bearing against them. They're just there for obviously weatherproofing as well as much as anything. So the next question, should I galvanise my shed? So galvanising is a process, you can see it here, it's like where they put zinc on it. So you can see in this shed, everything's been galvanised, all the RSJ's in the roof, all the wind bracing's been galvanised, and all the canopy there that I put on, that's all been galvanised as well. And anyone can get anything galvanised, gates, whatever you want doing. I took it all to a company in Corby called Premier Galvanising, and the way it works is you take your steel there, they'll lift it off, they'll weigh it, so they'll weigh how much obviously all the steel is you've bought in, and then they galvanise it, and then they weigh it again, so whatever the weight difference is, that is how they charge you. So they'll charge you how much zinc has obviously gone on to the steel. And it's a really good process. It's quite expensive, but if you're doing cattle buildings or anything like that, I always say it must be galvanised so that the bottom of the stanchions don't go rotten. Grain stores, you can have it done if you want, but personal preference really. Question 3. Does the building have to be CE marked? I don't really know. I've looked online. It's a bit of a grey area. What I'm led to believe is, because I've built the building myself and I'm using it for my own personal use, I don't have to have it CE marked. If I was selling it, then yes, possibly, but because we're not in the European Union anymore, what's it matter? I've no idea. That's all I know about it. And also regarding the steel, do you need to be a certified engineer or welder to be able to make one of these? I guess not if you're doing it for yourself. I am a qualified welder and I am a qualified engineer, so I shouldn't really have a problem with any of that. Question 4. Why use concrete fibre roofs and not tin roofs? The reason I don't use tin roofs is because they condensate. You can get this fur put underneath, which helps, but I always find that the concrete roofs, they insulate better. And also, what make is the concrete fibre roof? These are Eternit roofs, and the good thing about Eternit is they are semi-compressed sheets, not fully compressed sheets, so they absorb the moisture as well. And I think they actually insulate the building to a degree. Good thing about Eternit as well, they're always on the end of the phone to help you, so they've got a technical support team, so you can bring them up and say, right, I'm designing a building, can you help me? Here's all the plans. And they will design it for you to get the correct airflow. If you're in like a animal building or like a grain store, they'll design you like vented ridges and stuff like that. So they're a real helpful UK-based company. Right, we're on to question number 5. Do I use wooden purlins? So these are the purlins here that go between each rafter. Do I use wooden purlins or steel Z purlins? Completely up to whatever you want. I like using wooden ones because they're really easy to put up. You know, they don't burr or anything. They do last a very, very long time. If it was in a cattle building, I'd definitely use wooden purlins, because all the damp air and everything that's in a cattle building, I've actually seen it when the Z purlins are getting quite old and they're starting to go rusty and even rot through in some cases. Whereas wooden ones, you're not going to have that happen. The only time you get a wooden one rot through is if the roof's leaking on it for a long period of time. Then obviously, of course, it's going to go rotten like anything is. Question number 6. What are these fans outside? So these fans, these pipes go in the ground, and obviously these fans draw air through the corn heap inside to keep air flowing through it, to keep it circulated. So these are 3-phase fans, and then we can have 2 more up on here if we want, 'cause we've got the plugs just there. But if I turn these on, so these just stop the corn heating up, and it keeps the air flowing through it. These are made by Martin Lishman, as you can see just there. So that is what the fans are outside for. Question 7. What size or what thickness are the tin sheets on the outside of the building? So these are 0.5 millimeters thick, and if you were going to have it on the roof, you have 0.7 millimeters thick. So this is called goose wing grey, this colour on the side here. I quite like it, looks fairly modern. So there we have a little bit of an insight into a few questions that I've been asked over the last year. If you've got any more questions, stick them in the comments and I'll try and reply to them. I don't know all the answers, so I'll try as best as I can. And hopefully you've all enjoyed this series of the video. If you have got this far, it's under Build Your Own Grain Store in the my previous videos, and there's about 4 or 5 different videos to it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.